The West has been steadily reducing its dependence on Russian fossil fuels, but extending this to nuclear fuel is proving to be more of a challenge. According to Forbes, Russia's Rosatom State Nuclear Energy Corporation alone controls 38% of the world's enriched uranium market, with Russia as a whole holding 46%. Ukrainian authorities have repeatedly appealed to Western governments, urging them to sanction Russia's nuclear industry, specifically Rosatom. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has also urged European Union leaders to take a tougher stance.
Ukraine doesn't understand why there are still no sanctions imposed on Rosatom, whose people continue to occupy the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant and put our safety at risk.
The answer lies in import numbers. According to Rosatom, supply agency of the European Atomic Energy Community, Europe reported getting about 17% of its uranium in 2022 from Russia, and about 27% from Russian ally Kazakhstan. The EU's reliance on Russia's nuclear fuel is expected to grow as nations embrace alternatives to fossil fuels. In 2022 alone, U.S. companies purchased nuclear fuel from Russia worth $1 billion. In April 2023, the U.S. imposed sanctions against Rosatom subsidiaries.
Back in the early days of sanctions, when I was doing them for the U.S. government in 2014, I urged every company I could find that was doing business in Russia to find a way to diversify their sources so the Russians wouldn't have leverage. And I think we are rather late in diversifying our sources of nuclear material.
Sonia D. Schmidt agrees. The Virginia Tech Associate Professor of Science and Technology Studies says the West can find other uranium suppliers, but it'll be tough to find alternative ways to enrich uranium.
Uranium enrichment is not something that you can set up overnight. That's a process that takes time, that takes investment, and that is expensive. So, if you in a capitalist market, you look for who has already set up such facilities and who can provide that.
Ukraine aims to become such a supplier. Minister of Energy German Galushchenko says the country signed a deal in June 2022 for the U.S. nuclear power company Westinghouse to supply fuel to all Ukrainian atomic power stations. Galushchenko believes Ukraine can start producing its own nuclear fuel in about 3 years. In time, Ukraine might supply nuclear fuel to Czechia, Slovakia, Finland, and Bulgaria that are using the same reactors as Ukraine.
This will allow us to get rid of the Russian monopoly that sadly exists today.
Some European countries have already taken steps to overcome their dependence on Russian nuclear fuel. Finland has terminated its agreement with Russia to build a new power station, and neighboring Sweden's state-owned utility Vattenfall has refused to buy Russian nuclear fuel at all. Many Western countries still depend on Russia's nuclear fuel, and this dependence slows the effects that sanctions might have on Russia. The solution, experts believe, lies in finding alternative sources, and Ukraine hopes it can become one of them. For Oleksii Kovalenko in Washington, Anna Rice, VOA News.